narratives and wanted to collab. Yay. You were there. You were there. You were there. It gives me solace to scream your secret now. You never got to.
Whilst I'm just sharing these few words. Okay, good. Okay, thank you, Deirdre Lavelle. So I will not spend too long, but I just wanted to introduce myself, of course. Dr. S. Ama Gora. I've been here working with the associate artists many of you whom you've already seen perform, and we've been working on a methodology which is both a powerful medium for performance in terms of improvisation, but also, as you've seen, it can also generate choreography. And choreography in the moment is something that I'm particularly fascinated by. So for me, this has been a real deep learning space for me, a laboratory with really beautifully able people who are vested in this process of discovering other pathways to their creativity. And just to give a little bit of background, we're really drawing on wisdom from indigenous peoples, particularly from West Africa, but also across the diaspora. And it's really drawing on performance practices as well as social practices. And the process involves many layers of understanding and relating to both our physiology, our psychology, and our interpersonal relationships. So it's a very immersive process that we generate new ideas from. So there's constantly new questions and new ways of approaching those questions as we try to get deeper into the work. And it's been wonderful being in this space, in this residency where we are working with poets, we are working with visual artists, because that's also been a great stimulus and, again, another space of learning and leading. And one of the key things that I personally was looking for when I put my description together for ACA was that I was interested in artists that were invested in rhythmically based practices. So people who were involved in dance forms that required a rhythmic dexterity as a foundation. So I was reaching out to hip-hop artists, to people that work in Caribbean forms, dancers that work in tap dance, salsa, Afro-Cuban. I was interested in that as a foundation upon which we could then really investigate what we really mean by rhythm. And as we discovered, there's a very, very strong relationship in many West African cultures between speech and rhythm. So that's why also you'll see many of the works, we're exploring language. And in the first piece we're going to do, we are joined by 3 musicians who are here with us. And if Kyle Graham would like to join us on piano. And we have Carlos Fernandez on percussion. And we have Noah Speaks on trumpet. So they have been incredibly generous with their time, coming to work with us this last week, every day in the afternoons. And it's been so enriching, because actually what we spend most of our time doing is listening, figuring out how to listen, with what to listen with. And I'll just add one other dimension of this residency that, again, has just been so eye-opening and full for me, was the opportunity we had to go to give a bit of a sharing with the community at the Yvonne Scarlett Cultural Center. And there we shared ideas about rhythm and basketball and improvisation. And that space turned into a wonderful intergenerational performance that the community gave. And at the center of this performance was a young boy who was keeping the time with the bell. And that, again, symbolically and literally is the center of the ecology with Ewe music in particular. So holding the time with the bell. And that dexterity with rhythm is really understanding the multifacets of rhythm. So we really, really work on silence. We really look at how the poetics of language and speech informs the body and its somatics. And breath. There's a term in Ewe language which is called seselelame, which means feel the flesh inside, meaning knowing the world through the body. So we've been taking time to really investigate what that means, and each day it can mean something very, very different. And there's a very deep cognitive side, the decision-making that's happening when people are making choices in real time, and we're really aiming not to noodle. We're aiming to cook you a really special dish in real time that you can really savor. And so if there's noodling, you can point it out and they can exit the stage. And yes, so executive function is really being challenged as we work. And I'll say no more. I think we have changed the order. So the first piece we're going to share is actually moving conversations. Okay, so that's the first piece. And then when it ends, I'll just come and announce the second piece. They'll run pretty consecutively, but they might need 30 seconds to breathe. We'll see. Who's to say? Okay.
choked. And I believe in happiness. It's really colors. Say nothing. Choked.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Good to hear it. This is a collaboration. I wrote the written portion, and these lovely ladies agreed to put movement and lend their creative spirit to it. So I hope you enjoy. I ask no monument, proud and high, to arrest the gaze of the passers-by. All that my yearning spirit craves is bury me not in a land of slaves. Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, bury me in a free land. I am not tragically colored. I am too busy sharpening my oyster knife. Zora Neale Hurston. Future dated eulogy for the carefree. Make me a flowery grave, embellish it, full of crowns of dandelions, daisies, pink peonies, pretty paisley printed summer dresses with frilly lace and all the lipstick radiating red. Black men and blonde women deemed me too dark to wear. While I am being buried, let no one speak words like strong, brave, or independent over me. Please leave my obituary free of all hard-sounding adjectives, heavy verbs, and too many vowels. I'll carry everyone else's issues and egos and babies next time. Remember me wondrous in younger years when I blushed over being asked first to prom, how I spent teenage hours pondering nail polishes too. Render me that gentle girl sweet songs and dreams were made of. Fashion me a soft name filled with long syllables, one that translates into a constellation, or maybe one of those fickle, mythical goddesses of spring, an appellation which escapes my lover's full lips lightly. Remark instead on how my toothy grin showed bright against sun-tinted terracotta skin, how my freckles glowed, swoon over the way my pillowy curls danced wild with the Santa Anas. Pray leave me lavish and lush and breakable this once.
Yeah! Okay, I'm Claire Pentecost, and I am actually the master artist in the visual arts, but I have I've kind of like to complicate the whole idea of the master, partly by doing things that I'm not actually authorized to do. And I want to encourage other people to do that. So I'm going to say some words about our residency in a few minutes, but right now they're letting me read a poem. Now I wish I could just. Now you're going to see who's the egghead in the room, not with the. Okay, here's a poem. Like money. Like money, the land organizes people. In return, we press, inject, fold, sort, and staple every little body that once lived in dirt. And that land is our bitch now. The nature thickens where it is forgotten, holding cover. It's dense in there, and things are living. We hear them, never to be seen. A red light flashes on the wing. Below the 22nd floor, the small lights gather and run rivulets on the glass pane. These are the signs of life today. Writing is inherently a liberatory engagement. What will you do with yours? Maybe it doesn't matter, this heavy slab of concern, my long bed of cares, the names of living things and how they do. Oh my God, there's a hummingbird in your sweet face. Faces or sentences, pop visuality. You can lather a wall in faces and you can smother it in sentences, but you will never synchronize everyone. Not all people live in the same now, nor does any other. Honor your ancestors. Doesn't matter how you feel. The neighbor's catalpa is suddenly blooming, and also the little unwanted one that took root by the garage. I tried to poison it, but I'm still alive to see its blissful forage. The pilgrims arrive in the land of extinction. Along a canal, melancholy odors progress, and the wand of industrial convenience fouls the mud. Still, at the green-gray edge, the secrecy of the heron. Everything you see now is obsolete. Everything. The land is a parking lot for capital. And now, I swear, a cloud of flies is hatching from our sugared eyes like money. Thank you.
Hey, y'all. My name is Josh. Thank you all so much for coming out. It's really great. Thank you to Terrance and everybody I've worked with and learned from. This is really awesome. I'm going to read 2 poems. The first one is about my hometown, Tampa, Florida. It's nice to come home. It's like a homecoming. This poem is called Ode to the Summer Cone. I fucks with vanilla, twisted with chocolate, on some, can I get a large twist? That dad can't afford to fix the AC twist, that Florida summer thunder humming twist, everybody together in the heat twist. We at Bo's on Nebraska twist, been here for 50 years twist, since let's do the twist. I fucks with the thick and chunkies too. Reese's Pieces, M&M's, Butterfinger, but not the Oreo. Choose wisely. This is a special treat once a month twist. Mom and dad back together twist. Bills still come every month twist. The Jacksons across the street ain't never had AC twist. They out on the porch every morning praying for rain twist. Praying for rain twist. Byron and I drive to Bo's when I visit home twist. Red and blue twist. Cracking down on crackheads out back twist. Twist arms against the car. School's out for the summer twist. I fucks with vanilla twisted with chocolate, then dipped in chocolate. That lick quick for it drips across your knuckles twist. For it drips across your knuckles twist. For your mom starts bitching, you dripped in the new minivan twist. That Florida summer thunder humming twist. That wash your hands before hitting the monkey bars twist. First broken wrist twist. Now you gotta wrap your navy blue cast in a plastic bag to shower twist. No swimming for 6 weeks twist. This summer sucks twist. Sep, everybody feel bad, so you get the weekly summer cone twist, and it gets a little better. Last poem is it's called Dirge for Jimi Hendrix. A couple things in the poem. The last album Jimi Hendrix ever recorded was under the name A Band of Gypsies, and Eric Clapton comes in this poem. A couple of Jimi songs. Who Knows is the first song on the album. Hey Joe, yeah, that should get you up to speed. This is Dirge for Jimi. Maybe you saw it coming. Adopting a band of gypsies, the only way to make yourself at home. So you played that smoky club in the village. A single bulb above the front door. A fog rolling in. A bottle of gin chilled in the dressing room. Clapton in the crowd. His face the color of his red coat. His cigarette. His bank account. It's like that game of snake I'd play on a piece of tinfoil. A baby blue pill impressed with the letter M. Never the A's. They didn't hit as hard. A patchwork of black, bubbling sludge swallowing its own tail while a trail of smoke rose into my lungs. The smell of marshmallows hung in the passenger seat like a blue note. It was something about the chemistry. Bass, drums, and Jimmy. Transcendence sustained in a fender strung upside down. Whispering, "Mommy, what's a funkadelic?" My favorite part of Who Knows isn't even Jimmy. It's some random motherfucker's mouth bow-wopping over a bass line, bubbling like my first pair of Reebok pumps under the half scat, half rap, half Nixon, half 60, half cream, half milk, and a cup of Hey Joe, what the fuck happened? Who knows? The coroner called it an accidental death. But then, isn't every death unintentional? Even suicide. A mistake of situation, a misreading of the instruments on the dashboard, up, confused for left, a helping hand taken for a plump vein, slightly dehydrated, its blue tube poking through the epidermis. If this were the last thing I ever wrote, would they say I choked? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rachel. This has been such a great couple weeks, and I love Thanksgiving. So, I thought we could play a little game, and it's kind of in conversation with Patrick's presentation. So it's a surrealist game, I think, and I've heard it called divining questions. So I have the 12 poems that I've written while I've been here, and I'm going to take questions from the audience and see if we can't find an answer to your question somehow in a poem. We're looking for crows, right? So Liz is going to start me off. So she's going to tell me when to stop. Going to tell me when to stop. No. Okay, she's going to ask a question.
What is the best way to locate an armadillo?
A veteran teacher told me as we drove around the block smoking in her car that I had to acknowledge the incident to get an upper hand. Okay. Can I get another question? Anyone else have a question? It can be like a broad, like, oh, we got one. Okay. Oh, wait, so again. So tell me when to stop. Okay. And tell me when to stop. Okay.
What's your favorite color?
No ass of the torturer's horse. Okay. Anyone else? Yes. Okay. I'm gonna shuffle them. Wait on your question. Sorry, my hands are shaky. Okay. All right. Okay. Tell me when to stop. Okay. Tell me when to stop. Okay.
What do I do with my life now after the residency?
Do take a break from hormones if you develop between 1 and 4 cysts. I know it's getting late, so let's take 2 more. Anyone else? It could be like about the nature of the universe, could be specific. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. So tell me when to stop.
Stop.
and tell me when to stop. Okay?
How often should someone brush their teeth?
How often should someone brush their teeth?
No one ever said to Van Gogh, paint a starry night again, man. One more question? Okay. All right, let me shuffle one more time. All right.
Stop. How did I get through college?
Vulcan, god of man, fire, and fertility, is spewing his molten robe across the big island, luring no bull. He is a bull. Thank you.
Of course, we've been studying embodiology with Dr. Wray, so this work is also similar to that in terms of improvisation. But most important about this piece is my mother, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother, high life era, Liberia, Americo-Liberian, complex history.
Corner, baby. Wuru wuru, baby. Waka waka, baby. Suku suku, baby. I go tell mama, oh. He go tell papa, oh. Wuru wuru, baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Me again. Oh man, those dancers. Joy, just joy. you know. I'm representing the artist group, the visual artist group, and I have to encourage you to spend a little time before you go at the sculpture studio and the painting studio, beautiful studios. Is there anywhere else, Nick? That's it? Okay, you'll get to see work. Oh, go to the writing studio, writing materials. And you'll see works in progress by Jane Deschner, Carolyn Lambert, Claire Lewis Evans, Meredith Drum. They're in the painting studio, and over in the sculpture studio, Maria Dumlau and Patrick Miller Gamble. Maybe Patrick Miller Gamble. And I just wanted to say a few words, of course, of thanks. It's been a really extraordinary experience. I haven't been to anything like this. And we spent the first week getting to know each other, doing a lot of exercises, writing together, and then reading what we wrote together. And I will say the associates in my group were incredibly courageous. And I think that the invitation one to another to get to know each other was so committed that I think we were able to build a very trusting group. And the second 2 weeks we spent with kind of dilating our thoughts on specific artists and their work, and we had all kinds of ranging conversations, which is the point, right, of all this work we do, is to build conversations between people about all kinds of splendid living experiences. And one more thing, I was thinking about something from the I Ching, because I don't really think of myself as a master, which, okay, I'll be a master, but I have actually written things that encourage people to say, do things that you are not a master in. Go beyond the limits of a profession. And this is the kind of thing that can happen at this kind of place, because, I mean, some of the stuff you saw tonight was all about cross-pollination. And there's a figure in the I Ching that I was thinking about, which is the tower. I forget which of the little chapters it is. And I think this designation of the master means that you get to go up high and see a lot. But it also means that you will be seen on the horizon. And I think certainly the artists in my group are masters, because they bring their whole lives to their vision, and they're willing to be seen. Thank you.
Can I dare to say one more thing? Glaringly, my dancers are all people of African descent, and I'm sure some of you are thinking, were there only people of African descent in the dance space? So let's slay the elephant in the room. No, they weren't. And those dancers were not able to be here for the duration. And they were equally rhythmically dexterous. There were also two other female dancers, white female dancers, that actually wound up pregnant, so they couldn't come to the residency. So I just wanted you to know that, just in case that was somewhere in the back burner. Okay, thank you.
Last, maybe least. I'm a visual artist. I'm Jane Deschner. I'm one of Claire. I call myself a grasshopper. I don't know if you remember the Kung Fu reference. This So if you would like to participate in a small way, if you didn't dance, or if you did dance, I work with old found photographs, and I work with words and statements and things I find in obituaries. And I'm working on a project now where I'm taking a bowling shirt. You can go to the next one. This is the part of it, and I've collected hundreds of nicknames out of people's obituaries, and I'm going to embroider them into this bowling shirt. And I want 300 people to choose a nickname and write it on, this is just an example with a font, so it'll kind of look like, and write it on a note card I have over there. And then I will embroider your handwriting and the nickname you've chosen into my bowling shirt. So if you come over to the writing or the visual art studio now, there's more to see, and we have a little bit of chocolate, and to thank you for your efforts. And thank you so much for coming. You've seen what eclectic group this is, and so come see more.